The story begins years after Light Yagami's death. The world has seemingly moved on from the Kira case, but whispers of a mysterious justice resurface. A string of unnatural deaths occurs globally, raising suspicions. Interpol reopens a classified case, and a new task force is formed. Meanwhile, in a secluded village in Japan, a young cyber prodigy, Ren Nakamura, stumbles upon an old, burnt-looking notebook. As he reads the first page, curiosity overcomes fear, and the legacy begins anew. Ren experiments with the notebook, cautiously. At first, he tests it on local criminals exposed in the news. The deaths appear as heart attacks, just like in the Kira era. He feels the rush of power, but also senses danger. Unlike Light, Ren doesn't aim to become a god. He wants revenge on the system that failed his family. His parents were framed and executed, and this power, he believes, is divine retribution. The Shinigami Ryuk appears again, intrigued by Ren's cold logic. Ryuk offers no help, only amusement. Watching Ren shape a new era. Ren continues using the Death Note with surgical precision. He avoids flashy patterns, opting for slow, scattered deaths that mimic natural causes. He builds software to analyze crime databases and chooses targets who avoid conviction due to legal technicalities. Meanwhile, Ryuk comments on how much colder and emotionally distant Ren is compared to Light. Ren believes emotions are a weakness. He keeps a digital log of every name he writes, even cross-referencing court records to justify his actions. Meanwhile, in the United Nations headquarters, a new prodigy named Elle is secret protégé trained before his death is introduced, codenamed LO3. She was raised in Wami's house, highly analytical and emotionally detached. She takes on the Kira resurrection case. Elle reviews the original Kira files and finds a familiar pattern in the new deaths. She suspects someone has access to a second Death Note. The world starts whispering about Kira's return, and panic begins spreading. Elle begins decoding the geographic and chronological distribution of the deaths. She notices that a cluster of deaths near Nagoya shares a timestamp anomaly. It matches the frequency of online power outages, a possible cover for testing the notebook. She hires a hacker to investigate ghost connections active during these blackouts. A single traceable packet pings from an abandoned tower outside Osaka. Elle sets eyes on her first suspect, Ren Nakamura. Ren builds a digital empire using anonymous forums and AI bots to filter potential targets. Unlike Light, he operates in the shadows and avoids media attention. He avoids leaving digital fingerprints and uses proxy networks. Ryuk notices how methodical and calculated Ren is. He's not seeking fame, but only punishment. Ren starts attracting cult-like followers without even trying. Meanwhile, Elle starts narrowing down suspects and discovers a leak in the Japanese cybercrime department. One of Ren's kills causes global outrage. A whistleblower in the US Senate dies minutes after a classified hearing. The death sparks debates in major media outlets, with theories surfacing around cyber terrorism. Elle pushes Interpol to grant her unrestricted access to global surveillance networks. Ren, aware of surveillance, moves to an underground hacker base beneath Osaka. There, he meets a mysterious woman named Hannah, a rogue AI engineer who believes in his mission. She doesn't know about the notebook, but she helps him build an encrypted digital fortress. Ren's actions cause real chaos in government sectors. High-profile officials begin dying, and Elle notices an unusual concentration of these deaths around Tokyo. She flies to Japan undercover. Ren, aware of Elle's investigation, leaves cryptic notes for her through manipulated media. Elle deciphers his codes, but doesn't reveal her findings. Instead, she sets a trap by faking the release of a criminal who was never publicly identified. Baiting the killer. Ren watches the news and considers writing the fake criminal's name. He hesitates, feeling something's off. Ryuk taunts him, hinting this might be Elle's move. Ren tests with another real criminal, and the trap doesn't spring. Now suspicious of Elle's identity, Ren traces leaked data and finds a list of potential agents. He cross-references anonymous online activity with death patterns. One name pops up repeatedly: Elle's real identity. Elle, meanwhile, recruits a small group of trusted agents who work off-grid. She begins publicly discrediting Kira-like deaths to lure Ren into making mistakes. Ren, realizing the new Elle is more cautious and adaptive, becomes more reckless. He starts targeting lower-level investigators. Tension builds when Ren almost kills one of Elle's key men, who survives due to a typo in the death note. Ryuk laughs, calling it human error. Ren creates a false narrative online, blaming the deaths on a rogue AI. Many believe it. Elle counters this by publishing a fake manifesto from the so-called AI, designed to enrage Ren into action. The psychological war intensifies. Ren becomes increasingly isolated, trusting no one. He begins talking to Ryuk more often. Ryuk offers no real advice, just riddles. He hints that Ren's time is running out. Elle locates Ren's digital hub and plans a raid. But Ren anticipates this and destroys his entire network in advance. He flees to Osaka and continues his work from an underground hacker den. Elle tracks a pattern in Ren's handwriting through forged suicide notes, finally confirming her suspect. She contacts Interpol to authorize a silent capture. Ren, sensing pressure, makes a bold move and writes Elle's name in the death note. But nothing happens. Elle is still alive. Ryuk reveals the truth: Elle used a fake name all along. Ren panics for the first time. Meanwhile, Elle launches a psychological attack, releasing fake footage of Ryuk to the public, creating widespread fear and paranoia. Ren retaliates by manipulating government databases, turning Elle into a fugitive in the system. She goes completely underground. Elle's team discovers Ren's childhood trauma. They leak the truth about his parents' innocence and Ren's vendetta. Public opinion shifts. Some support him, others condemn him. Ren feels betrayed even by the people he sought to protect. He begins losing grip on his original motive. Ryuk reminds him that all humans reach this point blinded by power. Ren starts questioning his morality that continues. Hana, now suspecting something beyond hacking, confronts Ren about the strange coincidences surrounding him. He reveals the death note to her. Shocked, she demands he destroy it, but Ren refuses. They argue, and Hana attempts to burn a page, causing Ren to lash out. Ryuk watches silently. Later, Ren realizes Hana fled with key files. Panicked, he begins writing contingency deaths in the notebook, including her name, just in case. Elle breaks into Ren's Osaka base and confronts him. She doesn't bring agents, just herself and a voice recorder. She challenges him to confess on tape. Ren agrees, but only if Elle reveals her real name. She refuses. In desperation, Ren pulls out the death note and tries to guess it. Ryuk laughs. Again, suddenly, Elle says her real name, but it's a decoy. Ren writes it down, and nothing happens. Elle uses the moment to inject Ren with a tranquilizer. As Ren fades, Ryuk sighs, disappointed. Elle retrieves the death note and hands it to the authorities. Ren is put in a high-security mental institution. Ryuk disappears, but before leaving, he drops a cryptic message in Elle's journal. Justice ends where boredom begins. Elle reflects on the cost of morality and truth. Months later, the death note is locked away in a secret Interpol vault. Elle becomes the youngest global security advisor, but whispers begin again. Criminals in remote areas are dying mysteriously. Elle checks the vaults, only to find the death note still in place. A new Shinigami watches Earth from above, grinning. A child somewhere holds another notebook. The cycle begins anew, but this time, the game will be played differently.